welcome back to Polly's Paper Studio. This is Ginny and I'm sharing a project today that I created as a Scrap Your Stash project. I'm using everything from the scrap bin and using die cuts to make focal images and embellishments. So of course I don't have any stash papers, any scraps. That is not true. I have loads of them, but I definitely don't keep them in random piles around my room. That is also not true. They are everywhere and it is time to use them. So the best way to use them is to use them. I'm making focal images and I'm making tags and flowers and using them to create foliage for my flower arrangements. So let's make this tag together. This is a 6 by 4 inch tag and I have cut it out of 110-pound cardstock and then covered the front with black cardstock and the back with this coordinating pattern. Now I'm going to begin layering on the front, which is this beautiful checker pattern, and the black is going to be a border. So I'm just going to add that with some double-sided adhesive tape. Now this is a stripe with a bit of that black border on top, and I have cut it to be the width of the patterned paper. So now we have the background done. I'm going to add this die cut, and it is more of a frame than a doily, and I chose that specifically because I did not want there to be intricate cutouts in the middle, because I'm going for a graphic sort of stylized image, so I need it to be able to be seen when I put the die cuts on the top. So that is going in the middle, and then the moose is going to be the focal point, which is the first die cut that I created, and I want to put my flowers here, so it makes sense to have the moose going in that direction. It does have some very fine parts to it, so I'm going to use this glue pen to get down on those little leggy parts. You want to work quickly with these pens and try to avoid splodging it all over the place. You really only get one shot to get that down. It's really going to be able to move it. So I'm going to be careful and layer him right here. I think this moose is kind of country chic right now. They're like mountain inspired chic. So he is going to be there. I'm going to bring in the flowers now. They're in a bunch of little pieces. And I'm going to layer them. They're all die cuts. So the flowers are created with layered die cuts, and I have finished the center with prills. The pine cones are also die cut. These are a multi-layer. And then I have gold on top and brown underneath. There are 2 for each of these sets, and I have just pre-glued them. These are some evergreen foliage. I have used some stickles for the top, and then holly again. Instead of using the scrap for that side, I flipped it over because I like the little polka dot detail, and then I finished the edges with a little bit of forest green distress ink so that it would have a nice finished look. And one of them I have already attached the set so that I can begin to layer. First, what I want to do is attach the twine that will be the loop at the top so that this tag can be hung. And I think that makes it good for gifts, or maybe could be on a Christmas tree as an ornament or a bit of decor. And I'm just using my tiny attacher to add that. And then I'm going to top it with the bow. And this is a black and white checkered print from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and I'm just going to secure it to conceal that little staple. I use the staple because I don't want that twine to pull through, and that will keep it nice and secured. So I'm gonna just work those bow loops a little bit to give them a nice shape. Now I know where I can build the flowers up to without getting in the way of that bow. I think maybe I want to add the trim at the bottom now too, while it's easier to move around. I picked some lace. This is also from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and then I'm going to top it with a pom-pom trim. Now I'm going to put these on with the tiny attacher also. I just like that look. It gives it sort of a different detail on top, and it really doesn't show all that much if it concerns anyone, but it does keep that ribbon secured very well, and then it doesn't have hot glue seeping up through it. Okay, so a thing about pom-pom trim is that it's a bit like wrangling an angry cat, and there's really no good way to do it. You just kind of have to get your confidence and jump in. So I'm going to use the hot glue on the top and try and do it quickly and evenly so that a lot doesn't come out in any one area. And then lay this in across so that it's even, and then press it into place. You may have to go back and do the first edge again with the glue because it is the first to go down, so it's the first to cool off. And you want to make sure that it's well adhered, because once you cut into that trim, it may want to ravel. So you have to make sure the edges are really secured well. I'm going to do this side too while I'm at it. But I did manage to get it on without squishing the glue out everywhere, so that is a small victory. The trim is easy to clip off now evenly. If you just flip it over, that will have a nice sharp edge, which is what you want. And I think that is a soft green. It will go with the foliage very well. So for the first part of this, I'm going to add the holly in the corner, and I can just shape it a little bit before you add it so that it kind of has a little dimension. And I think if I put it here, that will start filling in the arrangement. So I've got some that evergreen pine, and I'm just going to, I don't mind covering up this part. Okay, quick update. I just had to change the battery pack, so hopefully I didn't lose too much of that scene there. I'm going to balance this side with one at the top, and I do not mind if it goes under the bow just a little bit. Now, the white die cuts have also been topped with some stickles, so they have just a little bit of shine to them, and that will help to fill in that area. Because you really want a nice full arrangement, and building them backwards like this helps to make sure you're not leaving any gaps that you have to go back in and fill later. Here is a few more of those holly leaves, and I'm going to tuck this in right here. And that will extend the arrangement. And one more for the top. I feel like I'm losing my voice today, which is so odd because I haven't actually spoken to people in a week. My family's been off on a camping trip, so I haven't been talking except to the people at the post office. All right, now I'm going to bring in these pine cone clusters. I tried a few different combinations. Some I did with gold and black, and then some I did with, this is gold and brown, and then some I did with gold and green. And I think the brown is going to be my favorite combination because it just looks more natural. So that one goes there. I did attach these already when I was first laying this out because I wanted to make sure that everything had enough room. So this will be, I feel like these are too far over. I'm gonna move them just a little bit. Which is why I like to work backwards, because I'm not taking up too many layers when I realize that I've not left enough room. That's getting to be a little sparse now. There. And that is very hot. Ouch. Okay, now for the pine cones again. I'm gonna scoot them out a little bit more. That will be better. And then the flowers. Yes, that is much better. These prill centers on the flowers make a very nice finishing detail and a really cool texture, I think. I just got this green one in, and specifically for finishing poinsettias, because I think that it just looks like a flower would be. And I'm not very good at knowing what flowers are supposed to look like, which is probably why mine all look a little stylized, because I don't know their names and I don't know their colors, but I do know that if you make it, you can make it however you like. So, all right, that is it for our using scraps and working with die cuts tag. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like, leave me a comment, and if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!